Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Save the Silly Humans and another silly broadcast. Guess what? This is one of the first, actually, this is the first exclusive interview with anyone. And if you remember last week's show, it was pretty crazy. We had every, big name, that was listening come in, and it was spectacular. But there's one issue we never touched on, and it's one thing that everybody has tried to evade at every opportunity. Oh, I think Greg is playing his YouTube page. Just hit pause on that page, bro.
I'm not playing anything.
Or is it me? It might be me.
Yeah, definitely not me.
Oh, look at that. That's like double.
I hear you talking, but I can see you well.
That's hilarious. I might have done that last week too. I think Greg is playing his YouTube page. Just hit pause on that page, bro.
There's like a delay. I'm not playing anything.
Or is it me? That might be me.
Yeah, definitely not me. That was good.
I think it's resolved. Yeah, no, we do that all the time. People have to hit pause, and this time it was me that screwed it up.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times I have had technical problems doing these shows. It's been incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was supposed to be on the show, was it last Monday, and we couldn't even get 5 minutes into it. We had to cancel the whole 2-hour show.
Oh, geez, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Well, I was an hour and a half late. We did the rapid fire. Well, because of the event, the Super Bowl, it was a rapid fire. Fuck the Super Bowl. Free for all, and basically first in, first up. And actually, we went an entire amazing 8 hours, and it was pretty fun and laid back. However, we actually had no technical issues that time.
Yeah,
We just had some personality issues, but they got dealt with and resolved with swiftly.
personality? What do you mean?
No. It was just, you know what? It was we had some over talkers, and it was awesome because we had some really passionate people on board, and it was a great show. A lot of fun. Anyhow, I want to move forward and say, yeah, this hopefully is going to be one of a long line of exclusives that we do. Event Skeptic and myself, we both spoke about this, and we are each going to be doing exclusive interviews with people. So everyone out there, you're in our crosshairs. But I am honored to bring to you guys Gregory Mannarino, the guy with eyes to see through numbers and charts and stocks.
I
For
would.
those who don't know Greg, Greg, man, drop it. Tell these people what it is that you do and why you do it.
Well, I have been out here for a bunch of years now, trying to really put a perspective on the financial system, the let's call it what it is, the criminality that is going on behind the scenes with the Federal Reserve and our policymakers. Trying to put this into some kind of a common theme that the regular guy can get. Because let's face it here, I sincerely believe the nonsense that we're getting from the mainstream is out of control. It's absolutely out of control. It's spun in every conceivable way that they can twist it, except the right way, which is the truth here. But so what I'm really trying to do is, look, I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. I'm just trying to lay out what I believe is going on, and that's really what started this whole thing for me years ago. I just sat down in front of the computer, started talking, and people just started liking the message. So I said, hey, you know what? I'm just going to start doing it. I had no idea where this would turn into. I mean, it's gotten pretty huge, and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy interacting with people. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
No, I feel you there exactly, like what you're just saying. And actually, I hope Jeff C's not listening right now because, Greg, I was actually watching your videos before any of his. Like, I kind of stumbled upon his videos when I was like checking out the validity of like your Stefan Molyneux's and your Alex Jones's and Mark Dice and all these other clowns out there. Like, it was weird because you were one of the people that stuck because you appear to me like someone who's shouting from the rooftops,
Right.
warning everybody of something, and it's like you're saying the exact same thing as all of us, and it's because these people can't understand. And in this case, it's trading and where everything is leading to. Um,
It
I
is
have a
trading, isn't it?
I have a question for you though, and it's funny because it was 2 weeks ago, I believe, when we did that episode 3. We had Floor News on, and the topic was doomsday. I'm sure you got the invite. You said you weren't available to do that.
Yeah,
But
weekends are bad for me.
yeah, you were
Weekends are
saying. Well, we explored every single doomsday scenario possible, and I don't know. It's funny. My cheek muscles were sore the next day because I don't think I laughed so much inside of an 8-hour time span. Because yeah, we
hmm
went the full gamut. Now, um, what inspired me to do that was because of the scientists that moved the doomsday clock forward by 2 minutes or
I
three
heard
or
about
whatever.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was the same week that you dropped, or maybe the week after that you dropped the one video saying that the signs point to war. Do you want to comment on that?
Oh, absolutely. It points to war. I mean, look, it's a shame. Look at what's going on around the world right now. I hate to see this stuff because, here's another reason why I'm out here, and this is the truth. I really feel this way. This is the my core belief system that we all have responsibility to each other, and if we all can, adopt that kind of an attitude, the world would be a better place. That fits kind of into the Save the Silly Humans thing, which I happen to love that title. So, it's very unfortunate what I believe are policymakers who are colluding with the central banks who run this world. I mean, come on here. The politicians, President Obama, these are spokespeople. They don't run anything. Anyone who believes that the world is run by kings, queens, monarchs, presidents is sincerely deluded. This entire thing is, first of all, and I've been saying this for years. It's run by Wall Street. It's run by the people that have the cash. Period. Everything's bought and paid for, including this war that they're now pushing us into. There's no doubt about it. And not only is that going on here, but they're making sure by having two fronts now. You got
Mm-hmm.
what's going on here with Russia and the Ukraine, this whole thing going on here over in the Middle East here. Look, this is my take on what's going on, and I think you probably are aware of it. What we have here is a financial system on a global scale which is failing. We have currency wars, we have economic wars, we have shooting wars, and they're trying to pull us into World War III, which has already started because economic warfare is war. And as you know, the United States has been sanctioning Russia. And I'll tell you something else very interesting. Look at what happened to crude oil just today. I've been saying since almost day one, this plunge in crude oil. At first, I was like, well, what's going on here? Then we see a 60% sell off. I'm a market guy. I follow this stuff all the time. So, like, this is just not normal in this environment. All of a sudden, we put sanctions against Russia. The thing falls off, crude oil falls off of a cliff. I mean, you got to be nuts not to be able to see what's going on here. They're deliberately trying to punish the Russian economy. This was engineered. As a matter of fact, I wrote an article on my Seeking Alpha blog where I posted a chart of crude oil. And I actually circle where you can see the manipulation. So this was engineered. Now this bounce that we saw with crude oil today is just because it was affecting the markets. They won't let that happen again. Why? Because Wall Street runs the world. So I think pretty much we probably have bottomed out with regard to crude oil. As a matter of fact, I told everyone that, and I said everyone are going long USO just the other day. 3 days made a 55% profit. I mean, seriously. I've been
Wow.
screaming from rooftops for weeks now. Getting involved in energy, XLE, another phenomenal trade here. We know their playbook. All we got to do is put it into action. Period. And it's
Yeah.
a shame what they're doing here. They're going to kill people, and they don't care how many they have to do it. They're just to grease the wheels of the machine. That's it. It's a disgusting mechanism that they use over and over again, and then the people just follow along like little freaking sheep.
Like
And it
lemmings.
gets under my skin. That's why I'm sitting here trying to wake people up.
Yeah, man. Hey, I can tell that you're passionate, and that's like one of the things that like rang home, like when I first started watching your videos, and then when I did get into other, like there's a lot of really, really good names that deliver messages without over touting the whole, the conspiracy theorist or the truther thing, and that's why I dug your style, because like you're using the writing on the wall, if you would, for your message, and I completely appreciate that, mate.
A lot of people say, Greg, you're out here talking about gloom and doom. What I'm trying to do here is look at things from a possible worst case scenario. First of all, I can't see anything else evolving other than a worst case scenario with regard to, see, look, this is what I've been screaming for years about. And they try to distract people with, I'm not saying these are not issues, but they are. You have ISIS, you have terrorism, you have diseases, but the main problem and the main issue that people need to understand is the bubble in debt that we're watching crack as we speak. This bubble in debt, I would imagine you understand this as well, is the greatest threat, bar none, period, greater than a nuclear war, because it's a resource issue. It's not just a financial problem. Look at what's going on in South America and parts of the world where people are unable to attain resources. They kill each other in the streets. This is that's what's going to happen here when we get a final bursting of this bubble in debt. What we know about bubbles is very simple. They all burst. Look, I urge everyone to do a little research about it. Look at every economic and financial bubble in human history. They all burst. Why? Because they rise above a level that can be sustained by any means. Despite what the world central banks are doing right now by slashing interest rates, by going negative, it's not going to work. All this is doing is creating a larger financial monster, which is going to lead to a resource issue, which unfortunately, I mean, if you put this into the perspective, is going to lead to a loss of life on a global scale, which will be biblical. And it's unfortunate what they're doing. By pushing us into a war, they're going to, in my opinion, they're going to use this war as a distraction or as a blame game. They're going to blame the war, that is coming. I mean, I wrote this in my book, The Politics of Money. I said at the very end, this is leading toward a war. It's so obvious what they're going to do because they always do the same thing over and over again. So we know what they're going to do. It's very sad. It really is. I don't know another way to put it.
Well, what's your advice? What's your advice? I mean, to the listeners out there, I mean, they're like, shit, I'm totally fucked now. Like, But I'm sure there's things that they can do, right? To like mitigate.
First of all, you got to get out of their game. What do they? I mean, look. What do we understand that they're going to do? What are they doing? What are they broadcasting that they're going to do? They're telling us all, number one, they're going to devalue the currency. They're going to take the purchasing power away from the currency. So what does that mean? If you had an asset, no matter what it was, and you knew for a fact that it was going to go down in value, what would you do? Would you hold on to it until it bottomed out? You probably want to, allocate out of whatever that is and then put your funds in another spot. So what I say is this: give the world central banks back their product, which is the currency that's in our pocket. It's not money. Article 1, Section 10 of the United States Constitution clarifies that. Money is gold and silver. This is currency. Now, the central banks have created this stuff out of nothing. They created an environment where they're dictating to us all what money is. It's bizarre. And the world central banks aren't even a part of the government. They're a private bank here in the United States, the Federal Reserve. So again, if we understand what
Federal Express.
Yeah, exactly. So if we understand what they're going to do with regard to punishing the currency, I mean, you got to get away from it and allocate it into what I believe are suppressed assets beyond any belief, and that is gold and silver. More specifically, silver. I think it's the most undervalued asset in the history of the world at this particular time. Now,
hang on. There you go, Jeff. You heard it here. Buy silver.
Buy silver big time. I mean,
that's what he quotes you on, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, look, people say, oh, Greg must own a gold mine. Greg must have some kind of motive. I have none. I don't own a gold mine. I don't advocate for any company, although I have been offered many, many times to do so and offered cash. I won't take it because I don't want to be out here advocating for something and people will say, hey, you know what, Greg has a vested interest. I do not. I am just out here.
It makes sense, man. It makes complete sense because I know, like, people don't want to think about what it was like going back to pirate times and you have to carry around a bag of coins with you. But you know what? At the end of the day, it makes the most sense.
Yeah, bet against their system. And how you bet against their system is by holding a hard asset. You're literally taking the short end. You're betting against the debt, which is the biggest bubble in the history of the world. So you're literally taking the opposite side of that trade.
what other kinds of assets, though, like other than silver, would be, like not everybody has access,
Well,
or they might not have like, traditional assets in their possession that they can liquidate and turn into silver. Like, is
yeah.
there anything that anybody can do with what they have now?
Well, I would say this. I mean, you always have to make sure, in a worst case scenario here, and I always look at things in that perspective. Again, I urge everyone to read Sun Tzu, The Art of War. You always
Mm,
have to be prepared for a
good
worst
book.
case scenario. Exactly. So what people need to understand is, I'm just talking about things from a financial standpoint, but from a survival standpoint. I mean, obviously, you need to have a roof over your head. You need to have a way or some means to support yourself away from the elements. You need a way to survive with being able to acquire food and water. People say, do you need a bug out plan? But where are we going to go? I think most people are going to have to bug in. I'll be honest with you,
Mm,
and you need firearms, in my opinion. I live out here in the United States. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. I own a lot of guns. I'm not saying that we need these things and we're going to go randomly shooting people, but you need a way to defend yourself in a worst case scenario
absolutely.
because seriously, if people understand that here in America, 1 in 3 citizens are receiving some type of public assistance, this is no economic recovery. We have a president who, again, with this budget he just put out here, is determined to keep borrowing and borrowing cash from the future to keep the bubble suspended. People don't understand why we can't have a balanced budget, why we're $18 trillion in debt. It's
Raise
obvious.
that raise that debt ceiling, and the price of a loaf of bread will be $8.
Exactly. The system is dependent on debt expansion in perpetuity, cannot stop. Once we stop, we get a debt crisis like Europe had. Remember the European debt crisis? Well, they supposedly fixed that. Oh, yeah, really? How about the ECB just embarked on Japan style or Fed style QE? I mean, come on. They fixed nothing. All they've done is compound this problem and create a much larger financial monster, period. There's no
Yeah.
way out of it. And our policymakers are well aware of this all around the world.
Well,
Uh,
and that's one of the things that I always go on about, is that they knew this from day one. It's like mathematics isn't new, right?
exactly.
So they had to have some kind of a plan to hedge against this themselves. So I don't know. Like, do you have any ideas, like this, like theories on that?
Well, I definitely believe they understand something is coming. I mean, look here in the United States, for example. Every state in the union has become militarized. We have
Yeah.
cameras on every corner. They're watching everything that we do. They're more going to watch this video. They're probably hearing this hangout too. I
Yeah.
mean,
No doubt.
there's no doubt
Actually,
about it.
but isn't this exactly how like Nazi Germany kind of started out?
Oh, absolutely it is. Without any doubt. I mean, if you just look back on history and you look at, unfortunately, the way a society develops, let's say you go from true capitalism into socialism, into communism, into fascism, I think we've just taken the ladder right down into
Yeah.
full-blown fascism here.
Well,
And I,
you know full well that United States and Canada both they basically voted against condemning Nazi war crimes and xenophobia, racism, and all the things that go along with it. Like
mhm.
115 countries voted yes, 55 stayed on the fence, and 3 countries voted no blatantly, and it was Canada, U.S., and Ukraine.
Well,
That we got a Nazi regime, proxy puppet government sitting in there in power.
it's amazing that you say that because this is a real exclusive. What I'm about to tell you, the
All right.
first the first really I've never even talked about this before. The first book I ever wrote, or the first manuscript I ever wrote, was called America Under Control. I don't even have the manuscript anymore, but I was going to get it published at one point. But I had said specifically in that manuscript that underneath their suits they're all wearing swastikas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny when I let people read that. This is going back. I can't tell. I don't even know when I wrote that. Probably, wow, maybe two decades
It's
ago.
fairly common knowledge that
Yeah.
some of the ancestry of the Bush family dealt directly with the Nazi Party during the beginning phases of World War II. Like practically, like all the research, all their weaponry, all that stuff that they developed was done under contract with third parties.
Well, after World War II, we brought a lot of their scientists back here. Werner
Oh
von
yeah,
Braun,
and
the head of the
and we shared
rocket.
that tech with Russia too, didn't we?
Absolutely. It's insane, really. People have no idea, unfortunately, how the system actually works and what lurks behind it. It's just what you see on the TVs and on the mainstream. This is, as you know, it's the facade. It's fluff for the zombies out there who
Yeah.
don't have a clue, and they can't even walk and chew gum at the same time. These are the facts. So, it's really, I really enjoy being on shows like this because it gets, it's all a chance to talk about it. And if we can get through just to one person,
Yeah.
one, and maybe that person can get through to another one, it'll start this movement like you were talking about earlier. It's just so important right now because I sincerely believe that we are at a critical juncture here with the financial system, with the march towards war, with the dumbing down of the population of the world, more so here in America. I mean, I
Yeah.
have friends everywhere, all over the world, and I talk to them all the time, and they get it. But here,
Yeah.
these people don't get it at all. Very
No,
frightening.
and it's funny because some of the things that you were saying and that we were both kind of bouncing off of each other. About surviving and not trusting anybody because they're going to be going after your camp and your resources when the system fails. I mean, it's no wonder that like shows like The Walking Dead like are great tools of predictive programming because
It
actually
is.
the actual show their biggest enemy are other humans. Like by the time they get to season 3, they're knocking out zombies left, right, center. It's pretty easy bit. It's like duck hunting, like fuck whatever. But their biggest threat is other humans, and it's really I don't know. I'm kind of seeing the darker side of The Walking Dead. But
It,
I love the show. Don't get me wrong, but I'm
No,
seeing
but
how.
you're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head so squarely because I believe this, and I know it sounds a little kind of out there, but when you have a show like that, they do this on purpose in a lot of ways. They take a real life situation, those the powers that be, because they understand where it's all going to go, and they say let's create a show out of it. I mean, the zombie apocalypse, this is real. These are all the people out there that are misinformed. That when this thing really hits home here, they're going to all wake up, and that's the moment that I fear the most because they're all going to go, what's happening? The entire system that I've been told is real doesn't even exist. The cash doesn't exist. Nothing is real. And these people are going to hit the streets in droves trying to survive. You can't blame them, but
Yeah.
this is where we could get into it. There's no doubt that we
Hey
could
man,
fall into
to
a
play
Mad Max scenario.
devil's advocate, I mean, it might even too late for those of us who just got in, like who just woke up. It's there's an agenda definitely, and it's ramping up.
There's no doubt about that. I agree 100%. I just hope that it isn't too late, that people, that's why I'm urging people right now to do their own blogs, get involved in some kind of way, either sharing videos like this so people can hear it, start your own anything, a movement, try to
Yeah.
wake people up. Some people, no matter what you do, and we know this, they
Hmm.
don't care. You could tell them the sky is blue, they won't believe you. And
Yeah.
that's okay. You know what? We
Well, I
move
mean,
forward.
they look at chemtrails and think they're normal, right? But
Exactly.
I was gonna ask you. Oh crap! I just lost my train of thought there, thinking about chemtrails. Anyway, go on. Continue what you were saying, and I'll jump back in.
No, no, it's the truth here. I think in many ways, a lot of the stuff that they say are conspiracies. The conspiracy is that it's a conspiracy, But the fact of the matter remains is if you just look at the writing on the wall, if you just look at what's actually going on, you can see behind it all and see through it so clearly and so easily that it's frankly unbelievable that other people can't. And that's why I'm getting so fired up lately and so animated,
Mm,
especially lately, because I do have a lot of fear of looking. I mean, look, I'm a market person, I'm a financial guy, but I do have to follow all kinds of things in order to be successful at this. Otherwise, you will fail miserably.
right.
So, putting all this into a perspective and looking at what's going on here in the economy here in the United States and having our policymakers telling us that everything is fine, the United States is immune to the global slowdown that we are clearly in, you have to understand, they're lying. It's all lies and propaganda.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, you got. I don't know. Did you see the Katy Perry halftime show there on the Super Bowl?
I didn't. I didn't, but
Oh, oh, you know what? Then good. At least their spell didn't work on you. Holy
is that right?
crying out loud! You wouldn't believe they did they totally. Thanks to Dolores Flores out there, by the way, she brought up a good point, and they totally it was Hunger Games like references, and Hunger Games have popped up in a couple of false flags, and
I've
they've
heard this.
also popped up
Mm-hmm.
all over. Like, I don't know, there seems to be a recurring theme with the Hunger Games. We all know what that's about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like, are we going to be stuck hunting each other? Is this part of a depopulation exercise? I don't know. Anyway, that's way out there, and it's kind of outside of
No,
the.
no, no. But it's really, you know what? It's not actually that far out there because I sincerely believe this. If people can just understand that what we have is not sustainable. In other words,
Yeah,
keep inflating the debt, keep living in an environment that demands that that we keep borrowing it from the future to live a better now. And if you can just look at the actions of the world's central banks, how desperate they are, the fact
yeah,
that the Federal Reserve, despite telling people they have stopped quantitative easing, is still doing this through backdoor mechanisms. Federal Reserve is the most desperate central bank in the world at this particular time, and they're becoming.
right.
I did a whole video today. They're irrelevant. The market today, despite bad economic news, we finished up 300 points here because why? Because what the Fed is saying is garbage, and the market understands that. I'm a market participant. I'm laughing at them. They become laughable.
Yeah,
So, but really, what it comes down to is we understand this environment of debt expansion is not sustainable. However, they're going to keep trying to sustain this until it blows up. And I'll tell you something else I think may actually happen. I believe that the powers that be, they don't want their man in the White House when this thing comes down here, because
no,
whatever party is in the White House when this comes down, they'll never get elected again.
no.
So I think in many ways we can
But
expect
but
the
you know
Republicans to
what?
steal the election.
I hate to cut you off, but you're saying they won't get elected again. I mean, elections haven't been very reliable lately.
No, no, no. Absolutely, you're right. I mean, are the policymakers, the high ones, the presidents, they are clearly not elected. They are selected. I believe that's the truth. I believe that's been going on for quite a long time here. But
Yeah,
what I see is going on here, all this, just talking about the upcoming presidential election here, I believe that the Republicans will throw this election on purpose because they don't want a Republican in the White House if this thing goes down after the elections. A lot of people I talked to, and I was talking to Greg Hunter just today earlier, good
right.
friend of mine. He believes it's coming down this year. It may come down this year. Who knows? There's no real way to tell because the central banks, and I've been saying this forever, you probably heard me say it, are going to do things we cannot believe yet. They're still
Yeah.
not done trying to prop it up.
Well,
And until we see,
I got a question for you,
yeah.
right there, and that's what do you think of the whole brick thing? I mean, there's definitely momentum happening in a whole nother centralized banking system. Like, do you think? I mean, for all those who don't know my opinion, I do think that Putin, Obama, they all have backroom meetings. I think this whole thing is a world stage and it's made up of like avatars that represent corporations. It's it's
Maybe
really
too.
well, I mean, like, tell me it's not, Greg. Tell me it's not.
No, I can't actually say that because I do believe that there is a massive amount of collusion going on between the policymakers, between central banks, between this whole thing. Other to foster an agenda. Period. They
Yeah,
understand. I mean, this anyone who doesn't believe that is seriously deluded. Again, there is something that is lurking underneath this all that is just so I don't even know the word. So, is it evil? Is it?
it's
I don't know if I want to say
insidious.
evil.
It's
It
just
exactly. Good word. That's the word here, and and that's why again it's just so important for shows like this to flourish, to try to get the word out to as many people as possible. I mean, I think I invited over 3,000 people to this just before it came
nice.
on, on my I don't know how many actually are listening here, but I hope some people are, and I hope some people are not just going to hear and let it just go in one ear and out the other, but actually take action and try to
Yeah,
do something about it. Well, while I still believe that there's no stopping what is coming down the
yeah.
pike, and that is,
Well,
a complete meltdown of the system where we're going to see, unfortunately, a loss of human life, which will be, frankly, unimaginable. But
okay, so besides buying a box of guns and storing them somewhere and having an escape vector,
mhm.
how would someone like myself I work construction on the side. That's my day job. That's why I can't do this 24 hours a day. But to keep this movement self-sustaining, what would be your advice
Well, number one
to
is the
get this
mindset.
boat rolling?
Yeah, number one, like you already have the mindset, which is the most important thing. Understanding that there is something wrong. Once
Yeah.
you realize there is something wrong, and you ponder this thing. I write about this, and I have a free publication now. It's called Ultimate Guide to Money in the Markets, but it's really not just about the money and the markets.
I want you to plug that when we're done, by the way, because
Yeah.
I downloaded it myself.
Oh, good for you. Did you get to the part where I talk about mindset and how the mind can actually, by subconsciously, not even obviously not thinking about it, in the subconscious, if you focus on something, you'll end up going towards that end. I
Right.
really do believe that. So it's just so important. The attitude is everything. And then everything else I think will fall into place because I think the power of the human mind that is able to see is frankly the greatest power of them all,
Yeah.
other than maybe God. Maybe that's
Yeah.
granted to us
Well,
from God.
that's why they try so hard, right? To basically hinder that ability. I mean, look at
Absolutely.
our education system. Look at the fluoride in the water. All that shit.
Exactly.
It's there. It's there's measured levels of success, and you'll see if you look at the what do you call it? The IQ levels of all the nations and all the countries across the planet. North
Hmm.
America is way down there on the low
It's
end.
absolutely true. Yes, it is. And it's unfortunate that their apps, the effort is to keep people dumbed down, to keep people unable to think outside the box in any capacity. And once you challenge that, they start freaking out.
Yeah.
And that leads to a lot of the trolls, which I'm sure you get, I get. They're just so indoctrinated into the system that it's frankly nauseating. And because
It
these are the kind
is.
of people that we're trying to get through too.
Yeah, and those guys that are those like paid shills and what have you, and these trolls. You, I mean, we're kind of like if they would just stop being assholes, we're trying to save them too.
Exactly. They don't see it that way. They see you and I as a threat, and because of that, they do whatever they can. They lash out. They'll write bad reviews on your videos or whatever you do. They'll try to badmouth you. My goodness, I have legions of people that create videos about me. It's incredible. Actually, it's
That's
kind of
wild.
flattering. When I see stuff like that, I laugh at it. I used to let it get to me. Now I couldn't care less anymore. In fact,
Yeah,
it's good. It helps promote the message out there. People say, "Hey, who is this guy?" So I hope all of them continue to do that because all it does is help you and I out to
yeah,
get this out there.
yeah. It's funny because by feeding the trolls, we feed their behavior, but by not feeding them at all, they end up just pointing themselves out.
Yeah, yeah.
you know and they do come in mass droves. I mean, we did a show. I think our second broadcast was with we had Jeff Sisk from Zeekly TV, and he was undergoing like heavy DDoS attacks and what have you. Now, it was a rather passionate show. There was some arguing. We had Tom Lacavera on there. We had to mute his mic and Fleabite from the UK, and it was rather stressful. And then we were dumb shit, so we didn't know how to unmute their mics at the time because we were just learning the Google interface. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Zeekly TV got networked with the people who would help them out, and they've been able to mitigate most of those attacks since then. So I'm hoping we did a decent job. Actually, I think we made it worse for the next day because the more people, you got way more attacks like right after the show.
Hmm.
But
Oh, well.
anyway, but the thing was is that one of our guest speakers, Joker, that came on, worked with him and pointed him in the right direction to get some intervention tactics happening. So, yeah, so I guess it worked out. But it was again, it's what we're trying to do is support free speech, and that's what these guys do at Zeekly. I'm not sure. Are you aware of Zeekly TV?
I've heard of it. I'm not too much aware of it, but I've heard of it.
Well,
Honestly,
I,
it's kind of,
I,
I don't have a lot of time, as you probably know.
yeah, Well, they're another YouTube. They're a great place for you to upload your videos to and have a secondary. Let's say
I
you
need
got
that.
your, yeah, well, that's zeeklytv.com, brother. Set up an
Mm,
account, go there and check it out because those guys support free speech and
mm.
they're rock solid.
That's awesome.
They stand up for us. Like they're not being punk asses at all.
Speaking of that, just real quick, are you going to post this online, or is this just a live thing? Are you recording
Oh,
this?
this is live, but it'll get saved as soon as we hit the stop broadcast. This will
Oh,
be in
good.
my video collection, so I'll definitely send you the link. Actually, you already have the link. I don't think the link changes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Because if you could send this to me, I'd like to share it, let people see it.
Oh, absolutely, brother.
Mm,
It'll be up for everyone to see. We've got I believe we have 46 viewers right now.
that's
But
good.
hey, I also want to say, holy crap, we went above. We're at
That's okay.
36 minutes. But hey, the Max Resistance Roundtable is on right now. So if you're listening to us, go back to Max Resistance because this will be available later. You guys can have a listen. Um, yeah. I don't want to. You know what, Greg? You were available at this time, so I just jumped at it. So
I
I don't
appreciate
want
it.
to offend
I
those
enjoyed
guys at
this.
Max Resistance.
Okay.
But yeah, man. Um, like for someone like me to get involved in what I'm doing, it was completely because of the reactions of everyone that responded to me, and I was like, holy shit. So
Isn't it wild? I mean, it's
yeah,
maybe for some reason, the finger points at you. Get out there and start talking, and you get. I really just hope we're able to, just get through to a few people here,
yeah,
at least at this particular time, because again, I really feel that we're close to a major moment here,
yeah.
and the powers that be, they're on a trajectory and leading us all down a path that I don't think we can get out of. I don't really don't.
Hey, how would you feel about being a weekly guest?
Well, weekly might be kind of tough, but I would definitely like to get on here again with you, and do more of this. And
Yeah,
maybe, the next time if we, we'll promote this a little bit more as well too. I would really be into that for sure. Maybe we could do like a steady, like a once a month thing. I mean, I have a lot of gigs where I do on once a
yeah,
month.
yeah, for sure. Actually, you know what? Yeah, okay. We if we set one up, then we have to like jam pack it full of shit, right?
Well,
So, like, how about we get on a couple other guest speakers and have a panel and have a back and forth.
I think that's a great idea. We should
I mean,
totally do
we'll
that.
do it once a month, and we'll just gather in as many as we can. Maybe we'll even get Dabu.
Whoever you want, I'm all about it.
All right, cool, mate. You know what? That's awesome. Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah, this is what we do, guys. We're trying to get the message out. Greg,
Yeah.
do you have anything to say to everyone else?
Well, just get involved, really. Just find a way that you can make a difference too, because without us all collectively trying to do something, we're just more frankly screwed. So let's try to just do something about this.
Hey, don't call me frankly.
Exactly. Anyway,
Yeah, no. Oh, jeez, man. Yeah, he's the guy's right. I mean, he's as right can be. I mean, we all feel it. Something's coming. I'm just glad that we could get your perspective, Greg,
I'm
because
glad to be here. I appreciate it.
it's through a different set of eyes. I mean, you know, some people are doing the Sandy Hook thing. Some people are looking at the sun. Some people are looking at geological activity, chemtrails. But the thing is that all of these things are traceable back to a source, and that's I've always said if you follow the money,
Mm-hmm.
then you can find the culprits or at least the people involved. That leads you to the patents. That leads you to the organizations and the
Mm-hmm.
subcontractors, and it's a constant web. But at least you follow the money that gets you on the trail.
Absolutely. I agree. I'm
So
just,
I mean, for all you truthers out there doing videos, find those patents, and you're going to get way more information than what you have right now.
yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%.
So, so Greg, I don't know, man. I guess are you going or do you want to talk some more?
Yeah, I gotta kind of cut this. Maybe a few more minutes, and we'll get our butts in gear. We'll definitely do this again reasonably soon.
I think it's a good idea, man, because you've been a
Yeah,
great guest.
it's been
I hope
fun.
everybody's enjoyed this interview because I sure as hell have, and I'm easy to entertain though. So hey,
No, it's what I do enjoy here. I love being on shows like this where people are actually like-minded and understand. Look, I have no problem arguing with someone as long as their perspective has some basis in reality.
yeah,
And I have been on shows where the guests have none, and that makes it very very frustrating to have no common frame of reference whatsoever. At
yeah.
least I think.
Usually it's scripted too when that happens. Like usually it's a scripted show. Like I've got in front of me a list of questions. I've asked you one of them.
Well, save them for next time. We'll definitely get on this
Yeah,
again. I enjoyed this. Well, you know what? We'll promote the heck out of it more next time. We'll make this happen. Now that I know how to work it because I am the most completely computer illiterate individual in the world. That's the truth. I can play games on them. That's about it.
no worries, man. Yeah, you did a great job tonight, man. You've been an awesome guest.
All right, bro. Well,
And yeah, those other questions, yeah, holy shit, yeah, that's some really good ones. But yeah, I'll save them. I'm more improv than anything,
oh,
eh?
that's what me. I like that too. As a matter of fact, I've been on I don't know hundreds of shows, and a lot of times people want to give me questions in advance. I don't want to know them. I don't
Yeah,
want to know anything. I want to just shoot from the hip here. Let's get it out there. I want the answers to be the questions really should be spontaneous. The answers should be spontaneous, or at least the
yeah,
answers should be spontaneous. I don't want to sit and ponder them. I want to talk about the first thing that pops into my head. I think, and I
yeah,
pretty much followed that premise for years now.
yeah. I'm kind of like that, man. Like it's, you got to shoot from the hip, man. You got to shoot from the hip.
Yeah, and stay focused though. At the same time, understand where this is all going, and I really appreciate being on your show, man. I really do.
Well, I'm really, really happy to have you here, Greg. It's been a pleasure, and yeah, I'm looking forward to our next banter.
Yeah, let's talk about this soon.
All right, we
All right,
shall.
man. Have a great one.
Okay, you two, don't leave just yet. I'm gonna stop
Sure.
the broadcast, and I just want to say to everybody listening, um, guys, you heard it here. You heard it here. Gregory Mannarino, the legend.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Hey, you know what? I hope to do some more exclusive interviews like this with other people. So just remember, I'm coming for you,
I
and
appreciate
it'll
it.
be like this. All
Love
right.
it. Love it. Thanks, man.
Cheers, you guys. Take care of each other, and we're going out.